welcome to Sarah's Stamping Retreat. Today we're going to be creating an infinity shaker card, and we're going to be using this Botanical Wreath Builder stamp set from Altenew and these gorgeous glitters from Wow. So we've got the cotton candy and the super powerful glitter. So to start with, I have got a 4¼ by 5½ inch white card blank, and I've cut this just a teeny tiny bit, like a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the front, just to give a little bit of room for the acetate to fold over in a little bit. And I'm going to pop a piece of scrap paper underneath it because I want to do some all over stamping, so some of the images are going to go off the side. So I'm going to use these stamps one by one, and I'm going to create a pattern across my card. And you'll see that I'm stamping off the edges of the cardstock as well as over the middle. And I'm also alternating the placement of my flowers so that they don't all face the same way. Most of these stamps are pretty similar size, but you want to leave the smallest ones until last because then you can go around and fill in some of the gaps with those. So I've nearly filled the sheet now, so I'm just filling in some of the slightly bigger gaps with this stamp, and then I'll be moving to one of the smaller ones. So then to colour them, I'm going to go with these pretty colours from this Summer Sherbet ink pack, and I'm going to colour them with the coordinating stamps. So you could, of course, leave this background like this, it's really pretty as it is, or you can use your markers to add some more details. So I'm going to go in, I'm using markers in the same colours as the inks that I've got. So this is the Citrus Burst one, I'm using that for the centres of these flowers. And then I'm going to swap over and do Cotton Candy in the middle of these ones. As a rule, the pens tend to be slightly darker shade than the inks once they're stamped, so I'm also just going to add in just a little bit of shading on those as well, just in the pen of the same colour. Because obviously with the inks you're kind of smushing the ink out, so it's not quite as vibrant as the ink that comes out of the alcohol markers. And I think that the flowers look really nice as they are, just stamped, so if you want to make it a really quick card, then of course you can just leave it with distinct images, but actually just adding this little bit of shading doesn't really take very long. You've already got the base colour on there, which is what I love about this kind of stamp, where you have the images to fill in, because it would have taken me so much longer to colour the images rather than stamp them. And then you've got the option just to add a bit of extra shading if you want to. So now I'm done with that background, I think it's really pretty, so we can get on and make the shaker element of our card. So I've got here a piece of acetate, and it measures 6½ by 5¼ inches, so it's an inch bigger than my card base, and I'm going to just score that at ½ inch on each side. So then the piece in the middle will be as big as our card blank. Now I'm going to grab my scissors, and it's probably quite difficult to see this on camera because obviously it's clear, but I'm just cutting across that corner. So where the lines intersect here, I'm cutting a triangle off the corner, and that'll just let the sides wrap round without creating a problem at the corners. So then I'm going to grab my double-sided tape, and I'm just going to put it along the edge here. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. I'm going to fold these folds along the score lines. Now I'm going to place this upside down in here. Just trying to centre it a little bit. Maybe a small gap around the edge. And that is essentially to make sure there's enough room for the glitter. And then I'm just going to adhere that down. So I'm only going to adhere it on 3 sides because we need somewhere to put our glitter in. So then I'm going to put a mix of both of the glitters in. You can obviously put as much or as little glitter in as you want. I like to not put too much in, just so that you can see the pattern behind when it's all shaking about. And then I'm just going to seal that final side. So now you can see all that shakes around really nicely. But then also you can kind of push it down to the bottom and see the background nicely as well. So then I'm going to use some tape. And then I'm going to add that onto my card front. So then to finish this, I'm going to use this Thanks die from Alex Siberia Designs, which is one of my all-time favourite dies. I use it so much because it's just so useful. It's really nice size, and because I'm so rubbish at remembering to put adhesive sheet on the back of my detailed dies, then I love these sticky dots just to add adhesive to the back of my sentiments with no mess. So these ones I have are no longer made anymore, but I'll find some from another brand because there seem to be quite a lot of different brands doing them, and I'll link those below because they are dead useful to have. And I love this die because it has 2 layers, so you can use it in loads of different ways because you can use just the detail on its own. There's also a hot foil plate that you can buy separately if you want it, so you can do foiled ones, do them all in all different colours to get different looks. So I really like them. And then I don't want to use wet glue to put it onto here because it's acetate, so I'm going to use my sticky dots again. And then how pretty is that? And it's really nice to mix the glitters as well. So you've got the cotton candy that kind of ties into this colour, and then you've got the super powerful glitter, the kind of iridescent one, that really adds some extra sparkle. So there's our finished card for today. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd really appreciate you clicking the like button below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also notify you when there are new videos available on the channel. All of the products that I've used for today's card are listed in the description below, and you can also find a link there to the blog where you can find a picture supply list if that helps you find what you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.